if you're looking to improve your digestion overall, you should be looking to reduce endotoxin, right? Now, a lot of people think that when they go to the health field, they think, oh, this food is good, this food is bad, this drink is good, this drink is bad. They're kind of like alternating between this yes, no, right or wrong type of advice in the health field. And when you're trying to navigate the health field, the fact of the matter is things are simply not that simple, right? For example, apples, they're pretty high in nutrients and minerals. They're a great source of fruits and carbohydrates, but they're also high in a fiber called pectin, right? And pectin is really hard to digest, right? Really hard for the body to digest. So some people that eat apples a lot, they'll actually have a lot of trouble with their digestion. And some people are like, oh, but that's crazy, but apple's a fruit and it comes from nature and it's organic and all this other stuff. Bro, there are no rules when it comes to the health field, right? There is no right or wrong, yes or no. There's literally everything that you look at in the health field, it's going to have pros and it's going to have cons. And some things you look in the health field, it's going to have a lot of pros, very little cons. And some things you look at the health field, it's going to have a lot of cons and little to no pros. So you got to keep that in mind. There are some things in the health field where they're kind of, yes and no. And you kind of have to use your own judgment and use your own intuition and follow your own cravings and follow your own gut feelings when it comes to following stuff in the health field, right? But when it comes to actual digestion and digesting food, a lot of times when you're having trouble digesting a certain food, it is because it is extremely high in endotoxin, right? If you eat a lot of bread, you might get an upset stomach because bread is pretty high in endotoxin. It tends to get stuck in the intestines and it tends to feed a lot of gut bacteria, right? And that tends to raise serotonin in the brain. It's all these downstream effects that come when you eat foods that are really high in endotoxin, right? And this is where the whole argument comes from people, where people say, where a lot of people have the mindset that starch is like some kind of bad thing. Brother, I'm not gonna lie, I actually crave starch. If I eat fruit all the time and vegetables all the time, I start to feel really bad. I'm gonna be honest, my body temperature gets very low. And some people are like, oh, fruit is a better source of carbohydrates than starch. Bro, once again, the body doesn't work like that, right? Fruit and starch are completely different forms of energy. Fruit is fructose. Starch is more of a complex carbohydrate, right? It takes a little bit longer for the body to digest, but it has different effects on the brain, right? Me personally, what do I feel like? I feel like drinking fruit juice sometimes, and I feel like eating starch. I literally feel like doing both. And if I eat too much starch, I start craving fruit. And if I eat too much fruit, I start craving starch, right? So it really is about balance. And once you realize that endotoxin is going to be the main thing that's going to affect your digestion, you're not going to get too obsessive about what you eat in the general sense, but you are going to focus on eating foods that help reduce endotoxin in general, right? So I'm talking about pineapple, I'm talking about carrots, I'm talking about foods that help reduce endotoxin in general, right? These are a couple of the foods that you can eat. You can even drink pineapple juice if you don't have access to real pineapple, or if you don't like eating real pineapple, that's going to help too. But anything that helps reduce endotoxin is going to help you clear out your digestion.